One of the most stressful moments you can have at an airport is watching the minutes tick down on the departure board and realizing you might not make your flight. But here's the thing. Most people think their flight departure time is the deadline. It isn't. Your departure time is when the plane pushes back from the gate. By that point, you needed to be in your seat at least 15 to 30 minutes ago. Now, if you ever arrived at the airport 40 minutes before your flight and thought, I've still got time, in this video, I'm going to break down the actual deadlines to determine whether you make your flight or you're standing at a closed gate watching your plane taxi away. Let's go.
Dream vacations start here.
Now, with my experience taking hundreds of flights as well as planning just as many for other people, I know there isn't just one cutoff time at the airport. Most travelers think there's one deadline that matters, departure time. But there are actually 4 different deadlines that can end your trip before the plane ever leaves the gate. And the third one is the one that catches people most often. Deadline number 1, check-in cutoff. Most airlines require you to check in either online or at the kiosk anywhere from 30 to 60 minutes before departure for domestic flights and up to 90 minutes for international. Now here's what trips people up. You can check in on the airline's app up to 24 hours before your flight. So if you haven't done that already and you show up to the counter 30 minutes before departure, you may be already too late. If you're checking a bag, the check-in cutoff is usually even earlier, typically 45 to 60 minutes before departure. Deadline number 2, checked baggage cutoff. This is separate from the check-in. Even if you checked in on the app, if you need to drop a bag, most airlines close the bag drop 30 to 45 minutes before departure. Now, if you know that your carry-on is slightly over the size limit and you're planning to gate check it, that's different. But if you're planning to check a bag at the counter, this cutoff will catch you. With that being said, this is one of the biggest reasons people miss flights. They check in online, they think they're fine, and then the bag drop line is 25 minutes long. Deadline number 3, TSA and security cutoff. TSA doesn't have a published cutoff time, but practically you need to be through security with enough time to walk to your gate. Now, at a small regional airport, that might be 15 minutes. At a major hub like Atlanta, O'Hare, or DFW, during peak travel, you could be looking at an hour or more. The TSA does not publish a security checkpoint cutoff. The standard guidance is to arrive at the airport 2 hours before departure for a domestic flight and 3 hours for an international flight. How much of that time you'll actually spend in security depends on the airport, the time of day, and whether you have TSA pre-check. Deadline number 4, boarding gate closure. This is the hard wall. Most airlines close the boarding door 10 to 15 minutes before departure. Not at departure, before departure. So if your flight leaves at 3 p.m., the gate may close at 2:45 p.m. If you're not there, you're not getting on that plane. Now let's walk through what actually happens if you're running late, because the reality depends on how late you are. If you're 60 or more minutes late, meaning you arrive at the airport about an hour before departure, this is usually recoverable. You can check in on the app, move through security, and make it to your gate with time to spare at most airports. If you're 30 to 45 minutes before departure, this is where it depends. If you have a carry-on, you've already checked in on the app, and security lines are reasonable, you can probably make it. I personally do a 45-minute arrival time at my home airport, but it's a smaller airport, and I have TSA pre-check, which helps me go through the process quickly. But if you need to check a bag or if you're at a major hub during a busy travel window, this is getting tight. If you're less than 30 minutes before departure, this is high-risk territory. You're betting on short security lines, a gate that's close, and no delays anywhere in the process. At a small airport, you might make it. At a major hub, you're likely going to miss the gate closure. If you arrive after boarding closes, the flight is effectively missed. The gate agent cannot reopen the door. Your only option is rebooking. Now, if you realize you're running late, there are 5 things you should do immediately, and the order matters. Step 1, check in on the app right now. If you haven't checked in yet, do it before you even leave your car. This is the one deadline you can handle from your phone, and it buys you time on every other cutoff. Step 2, don't check a bag. If you were planning to check a bag, skip it. The bag drop cutoff will kill your timeline. If your carry-on is slightly over the size limit and you're worried about it, deal with that at the gate. Don't stand in the bag drop line. Now, if you absolutely have to check a bag because you've got liquids or oversized items, you need to accept that your window is probably gone and move to rebooking. Step 3, head directly to security. Don't stop at the counter. Don't print a boarding pass if your phone has it. Go straight to the TSA checkpoint. Every minute counts. Step 4, notify the airline. If you're clearly going to be late, call the airline or message them through their app while you're in line. Let them know you're on your way. Sometimes they can note your reservation or in some cases, hold the gate for a few extra minutes, though don't count on that. Step number 5, know when rebooking becomes the better option. If you're less than 20 minutes from departure and still in security, you need to start preparing for the possibility that you'll miss the flight. Open the app and start rebooking. Many airlines may be willing to help you if you contact them before the flight departs, but rebooking policies vary. Depending on your fare and the airline, you could be moved to a later flight, placed on standby, or charged a change fee. Not too long ago, I watched a traveler arrive at the gate while their aircraft was still sitting there connected to the jet bridge. The plane hadn't left yet, but the boarding door had already closed. From their perspective, they were on time. From the airline's perspective, they had already missed the flight. So what's the actual answer? How late is too late? There isn't just one universal cutoff. It depends on 4 things. Number 1, domestic versus international. International flights have earlier check-in cutoffs, earlier bag drop cutoffs, and you need to clear additional documentation checks. Number 2, carry-on versus checked bag. If you're checking a bag, your effective deadline is 30 to 45 minutes earlier than someone with just a carry-on. Number 3, small airport versus major hub. At a regional airport, you can walk from security to your gate in 5 minutes. At Atlanta or O'Hare, that walk alone could be 20 minutes. And that's before you factor in security lines. And number 4, airline-specific rules. Every airline publishes their cutoff times, and they're not the same. Most airlines set their check-in cutoff at 30 minutes before departure for domestic and 60 minutes for international flights. But if you're checking a bag, the cutoff time can be earlier. Now, if you're connecting from another flight, some of these deadlines don't apply because you've already checked in and cleared security. In that situation, the gate closure becomes the deadline that matters most. So here's a rule of thumb that I'd give you. If you're checking a bag, you're often too late before you're too late for the flight. What I mean is the bag drop closes 15 to 30 minutes before the boarding door closes. So you can arrive at the airport with plenty of time to physically make the flight, but if you miss the bag drop cutoff, you've missed the flight. That's the deadline most people don't know about, and that's the one that catches them. When you're looking at your boarding pass, don't focus on departure time, focus on the boarding time. That's the clock that actually matters. And so let me know down in the comments, what's the latest you've ever arrived at the airport and still made your flight? I love to hear your stories. And if you're new to flying, you might have some questions about the types of luggage you're allowed to bring on your flight. And so this video here will answer those questions for you. Thank you so much for watching this one. I look forward to seeing you again in a future video. Safe travels.